Law firm PPC can be a minefield, as I'm sure you probably know if you've tried to run law firm PPC ads. And in this video, I'm going to show you the top 7 reasons why this happens and why law firm PPC fails. I see the same problems over and over again looking into accounts with my clients' accounts before I took them on, potential accounts I'm auditing and things like that. I see the top same 7 things recurring over and over. And in this video, I'm going to cover them so that you can avoid doing them and get much better results with your law firm PPC campaign. So firstly, number 1, the biggest problem that I often see causing issues with law firm PPC accounts is just simply the flat out wrong account settings. Now, what I mean by that is when you're setting up a new campaign, there are so many different settings that you could go through to choose what you want. And so many of them are very likely to cause you problems. For example, display network, search partners for where you want your ads to display. Those 2 are basically guaranteed to burn your money in most instances. Also, when you're doing location targeting, you've got the option, which is actually hidden below a little button. So if you don't know this, you won't know, to show your ads to either people in a location, so presence in, or people present and interested in. And if you show it to the second one, which is people in and interested in, you can be showing your ads to all kinds of places that are nothing to do with your location. And that's specifically a problem with law firms who typically target their local area and work with clients in their local region. And so that's a big problem, especially if it's interstate and things like that, which you definitely don't want. So all of these little things, and there's countless others within Google Ads that really trip people up without them even knowing it. And then they'll try and run a campaign, it just doesn't work and they don't know why. And it's because of these small things that are on the back end of the accounts when you're setting them up, usually hidden below some little menu that opens or something like that. And they are often the biggest problem of why there's little results with the campaign. Second one is actually listening to Google recommendations, the worst of which is hitting auto apply. So auto apply is a thing that Google tries to push on you where you allow it to basically make automated changes to your account. And that includes things like adding keywords to your keyword list and all kinds of other things you definitely do not want to be happening in your campaign. Because not only can you not track at that point what's going on and what's working, what isn't, but it's also applying a bunch of stuff that you should not be doing. And I can tell you, having seen dozens and dozens of accounts at this point, their recommendations 90% of the time are completely wrong and they're not going to get you results. They are basically just trying to make as much money as possible. And quite frankly, at this point, I would argue that they don't really care about whether you get results or not, seeing the things that they're trying to promote in the recommendations. So what I would definitely recommend is do not blindly listen to the recommendations and definitely do not have auto apply set up in your account. Now, this third one is targeting the wrong keywords. So the entire premise of Google Ads relies on what keywords you're showing to people when they search to find your ad. And if you're showing for the wrong keywords, you're either not going to get clicks or you're going to get accidental clicks, or you're going to get clicks anyway and pay for them, but they're not going to be from the people who are most likely to actually need your services and convert into a paying client. And so basically that's just flushing money down the toilet. You need to be very specific with what keywords you actually target with your ads. And what that means is the problem you have is that it's very easy to trip up on this unless you really know what's going on. For example, let's say you're a criminal defense lawyer and you're trying to advertise various criminal defense services. Well, it might seem logical to actually bid for the keyword criminal law. But the problem with that one is that someone searching criminal law, it could be for a range of different reasons, a lot of which are not necessarily related to needing a criminal defense attorney. And so paying for that is very likely to get you a much higher cost per acquisition than if you targeted a much more specific keyword like criminal defense attorney near me or in specific location or something along those lines. Simply because the intent behind those keywords is a lot more specific and basically indicative that they need an attorney right now, versus criminal law could be an informational thing where someone's just searching what is criminal law. And that's the problem. It might sound initially like a good idea until you realize that actually they don't tend to convert. And this can trip up a lot of people where they spend the majority of their money on keywords that don't convert and don't spend any on the ones that do. Reason being also is that a keyword like criminal law is typically going to get a lot more searches. And so that's going to be where all your budget's going to go. And there you go, your budget's now wasted. Now, number 4 is targeting informational keywords. So one thing you generally don't want to do unless you have a very specific strategy with Google Ads is target informational keywords. Informational keywords are things like, do I need a criminal defense attorney to defend myself against a charge, for example? People search things like that all the time. Do I need a lawyer for a divorce? All these kinds of things. And those are the type of keywords you typically don't actually want to run ads for because they don't tend to convert very well. People are just looking for information. They're not looking to necessarily hire an attorney. And so if you're paying for those, first of all, they're not usually cheap or much cheaper than the keywords that are likely to convert. But secondly, they're less likely to convert. And so basically you're just, again, wasting your money on things that are not going to convert. And with a lot of firms, they don't have unlimited budgets to just throw at anything to just try and get as many leads as possible. They usually need to maximize how much they're spending. And this is not the way to do it. So you don't want to be targeting, typically speaking, you don't want to be targeting informational keywords. Now, number 5 is lack of congruency from the ad to the landing page. This is a big problem I see all the time. Basically, what I mean by this is, let's say you are trying to get a specific type of DUI. Let's say you're trying to get DUI defense lead. So you want to offer DUI defense services. If you advertise for the keywords like DUI attorney, DWI attorney, things like that, and then you send them to a landing page that just talks about criminal defense in general, or worse, just send them to like the homepage or law firm in X location that doesn't even mention DUI, you're going to lose practically all of those visitors. The majority of people are not actually going to go through and contact you because there's a drop off between relevance from the ad, which was what they needed, to the landing page, which now no longer talks about what they need. And so they're going to leave and look for one that does. That's what happens. And so by having a lack of congruency, you're just dropping a lot of the people that you've paid to acquire for no reason. You want to make sure that all the stages of the funnel essentially are all aligned and to do with the same topic. So if it's DUI attorney, you want to make sure that the landing page talks about that, and every aspect of the whole system or the whole funnel talks about that specific topic. If it's criminal defense in general, it would be all the way through. If it's DUI, if it's like traffic violations, if it's family law, if it's divorce, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It should be congruent all the way through the exact same topic. If it's not, I guarantee you're missing out on potential inquiries. Now, the 6th one is lack of campaign structure. Basically, the problem with this one is you have no idea what's working and what isn't. What I mean by campaign structure is, for example, let's say you're running a campaign and you throw all your keywords into one ad group, and then you run like 3 ad variations that are just more general, and then just let that run. The problem there is you can't tell what's working, what isn't, which ads are performing best for which keywords or which particular topic or practice area. You cannot untangle that mess. And so with that, there's very little you can do to optimize the account and figure out what's working, what isn't. When you correctly structure your campaign, and my recommendation is to structure it based on the topic you're advertising for, or let's say a particular practice area, to use a different word, you would want to structure at least at the ad group level for that particular topic. So if you're doing DUI, you want to make sure that you have an ad group specifically for DUI attorney related keywords, and then ads for DUI. This goes back to the congruency thing I talked about, and then the landing page for that. And then there, you're going to be able to tell a lot cleaner whether this particular practice area or topic is something you should be running ads for. Is it profitable? Are you getting the type of inquiries you want? And then from there, you can actually make informed decisions about what to do with the campaign, how to optimize it. Should you stop it? Should you continue it, etc. If you don't have the correct structure, it's going to be impossible to tell the difference between what's going on, and you just won't know if it's working or it isn't. And then you'll just end up going, it doesn't work. Or if by some miracle it does work, then you'll just keep running it. But if it doesn't work, you end up just going, wow, Google Ads doesn't work. Well, it doesn't if you do this, but I can assure you that some angle within whatever you were doing probably was working. You just weren't able to decipher it. Now, last one is number 7. Landing page isn't optimized, or worse, even worse than that, sending traffic to the homepage. This is a major one I still see all the time, where you have the Google ad. Again, let's use the DUI example I was talking about. Let's say you got DUI attorney. It is showing up for the right keyword, DUI attorney. People click it, and then it sends them to the homepage that just talks about, we're a law firm in Miami, or something like that, with barely mention of DUI, if it even mentions it. That's the worst thing you can do, because again, goes back to that congruency thing I talked about. There's no congruency there. It just drops off and the topic completely changes and people just leave. They're just going to leave. They don't have a very big attention span. They don't want to look around. They know if they click the next one, it will probably take them where they want to go. So they're just going to bounce from your site and go to the next site. And you've just paid for that click. So you need to be really careful with this. You want to make sure that you send them to a landing page that is optimized to convert them for the specific type of inquiry you're trying to get. Now, I've made videos on how to do that. I'll put a link above to how to make landing pages that convert very well for whatever type of law you're running. You can use the same format. It generally works well for practically everything as long as you make it relevant. You want to make sure that you do that for every angle you're taking with the ad. So every practice area you're offering, even potentially what angle for that practice area or specific offer you have, you want to make sure that the landing page aligns with what you're saying in the ads and the keywords you're showing for. And this is a big one. This will get you a much better conversion rate overall and much better results if you do this, which is obviously going to lower your cost per acquired client and overall just make the account better. So those are the top 7 problems I see constantly with law firm PPC. If you implement all 7 of these, I guarantee you your campaign is going to do significantly better than whatever it was doing before if you didn't have these done right. That's it for this video. If you have any questions about any of this, put them in the comments below and I'll answer them. Otherwise, if you want me to implement all of this and a lot more to get you results with PPC for your firm on a pure no-win, no-fee basis, meaning you only pay me for the qualified leads I actually generate you, just go to dominatemarketing.io. I'll put a link below in the description. You can go there, book a call with me, and I'll see if I can help. Catch you on the next one.